Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Harrison, and welcome to episode 7 of my RecyclerView Android tutorial. Where we left off, we just kind of finished all the backend. We finished the Singleton class, we finished the LruBitmapCache class, and we're ready to jump into the main activity and start parsing JSON, or at least getting ready to parse JSON. This will probably be the most complicated part of the tutorial series. So hopefully you're familiar with for loops, because we'll be doing those a lot. I'll X out of my adapter for now. Again, we'll correct those errors later. Let's open up the main activity. We're extending activity. Let's go ahead and start creating our variables. Public static final string tag. What's the name of that? Let's just call it my recycle list. The tag is just used for debugging purposes. It's just a popular thing that you tag kind of whatever you want when you want to log out to the console. You'll see when we get there. Also want the private list items. Let's get rid of that E. List items. No, we want list items list equals new array list of, I believe, list items. Yeah. Alt enter. Again, if you're on a Mac, I believe it's Command enter or Options enter. Private RecyclerView and RecyclerView. Private my recycler adapter. We're going to call that adapter. Now, next list of variables, we will use them all down below, so just bear with me. Let's just get the housekeeping out of the way. Private inch counter. The counter will count where we are. We're going to increase that by 25 so we can parse through different pages of Reddit. Private string count. Again, that string will probably be what we call the integer when we convert it into a string, so we can put it into a URL. Private string JSON subreddit. Private string after ID. Again, that's going to be a JSON call. Private static final. These are just different names of subreddits that we can use. Again, you can use whatever subreddits you want. I'm using gaming. I like gaming, so might as well. And you'll see down below that this could even be like an input option for your users if you want. You know, if you want them to type in something, then you would take their input and then kind of add it to the URL. But I'm just going to hard code it in just so we can start parsing. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all these, but let's just put them down just for the heck of it. Push insert again. See, sometimes when or at least on PC, I'll push insert and I get this fat tab. I just push insert and I get rid of it. Public static final subreddit URL. So this will be repeated often. This is a standard Reddit URL that you're going to access subreddit. So let's just go ahead and make that the variable, the a variable, private static string. I'm calling this variable JSON end. It's kind of what you put at the end of the URL to access the JSON data. .json. Once I finish these, then we'll go over kind of where the information's coming from. Q count. I'm using Q count as a question mark count kind of abbreviation. Turn to a string. Q count equals question mark, where that is on the keyboard. Count equals semicolon. Private static final string after equals and after, right? Equals, yes, equals, and semicolon. Alright, so this will do a lot with kind of the URLs that we're going to piece together. Let's go ahead and just browse Reddit right now. Reddit.com. Let's go to gaming. /gaming. So you can immediately see that I made this a string. It's that HTTP call that we're making right here. So boom, same thing. Oh no, did I get rid of something? No, I don't want to get rid of all that. Just this. To access JSON data. So for this example, for gaming, we're just going to go /.json, and you get the JSON data. JSON data is awesome to use. It's very friendly. There are objects and there's arrays. So when they have the brackets, that's going to be an array. When they have the curly braces, that's defining an object. And these are kind of all strings that you kind of pull, and we'll go through that down below, but I just want to go through that real quick. So that's why we save this as another string, just so we can, again, put things together piece by piece, because I think things are going to be going in between, and these strings are going to change, so we're just making them as different variables. But let's go to the second page, and then you'll see where the other things come from. So looking at the URL for the second page, you can see this is the string that we made for the Q count. This is that counter integer that we made up top that we were setting at 0. But again, that will be counting by 25 for us. This after, that's a variable for us, and I think this is like the after ID. I think I labeled. So that's not how you do it. There you go. Where is the after ID? I believe it's called after ID. Oh well, we'll find it later. But anyways, you know, those are the variables that I had to make, and then we'll go over that when we get around to it. Get out of that. Go back into the code. Let's continue making variables. I guess just for sake being right now, we might not make it immediately, but let's go ahead and make the progress dialog variable. A progress dialog will be the loading screen or the loading icon that spins when more information is being parsed. And once you see it, you'll notice that looks very familiar. You've probably seen it in many Android and other Android applications before. And why is this coming in red? Did I do something wrong? Here we go. So where's my okay, here we are. You can see they're already populating the main activity. Let's go ahead and get a recycler view. Let's define a recycler view, I guess. And recycler view, let's find it by ID. r.id. I just call it RecyclerView, right? RecyclerView, yeah, right there. What else do we want to create? Let's get this little layout. Final linear layout manager. This will kind of keep everything in order for us. Down here, linear layout manager. Define it. Equals new linear layout manager. Come on. This. RecyclerView.set layout manager. We're going to set the layout manager to the manager that we just created. So once this application launches, what do you want to do? We're going to update the list. We're going to update the list, and we're going to put in the subreddit for Again, update list is not a function yet. It is not a function. We will declare that next. Let's just get rid of it. Add on source. Let's just jump into that right now. Let's jump into the whole JSON parsing function. This will be the main function that really powers the app. So this will probably be the most difficult part of the tutorial series, just because there's a lot of for loops. But again, it's not that hard. Like when I say difficult, it won't be that hard for you. Let's go ahead and define it. Public void update list. The parameter will be the subreddit. Like gaming or pics or whatever, your favorite subreddit. Counter equals 0. Whenever we're setting the counter to 0 right now, because when we start counting up by 25, when we start loading in more rows, we always count by 25, and then say if we switch subreddits, we want that counter to go back to 0. So what we did right here is we just pieced together the JSON URL that we need, that we're going to parse through. So we took this subreddit, which is gaming, or in this case or your favorite subreddit. We put that subreddit URL here, we added in the subreddit, and then we accessed its JSON. So let's look at those. It's we took this, put say this after it, and then this at the end. Let's create our adapter. So we need to know what the heck we're doing. RecyclerView No, we don't want this. Our recycler adapter main activity dot this comma list item list m RecyclerView dot set adapter. Do I have too many? Yeah, let's get rid of those. So again, this is kind of, telling the RecyclerView, and we're going to use this adapter. This adapter, the adapter that we're saying to is the adapter that we define in our myRecycler adapter class. Before we go any further, let's clear it, because again, it's a new list. It's a new, everything's new on it, so we're going to clear it. And we created that clear adapter function in our recycler adapter class. We don't want to show anything right now. Let's just get this parsing. Okay, now let's start the volley. JSON object request. Again, this is coming from the volley toolbox. That's why it was so important that we implemented the volley jar at the very beginning. So definitely, if you didn't do that, definitely go back. And definitely just go to the GitHub page, grab my code if you don't want to code anymore. Always go to GitHub. JS object request. What did they recommend? JSON object request. Yeah, that's fine. Equals new JSON object request. And what's going to go in here? Request dot method dot get comma subreddit. From that subreddit that we just kind of created, that .json string that we made, no new response.listener. Listener. T Control Alt. Just gonna do it right now. But inside this listener that we have going on, put JSON objects. And curly braces. At override. Public void on response. JSON object response. Curly braces. Yeah, that's right. Log.p tag response.toString. Alt enter. So log D, that's just going to print to console basically the whole JSON object that we're getting. This whole thing. /r. Again, it's just an example. Don't worry. JSON. So again, we're just kind of printing this to console just to see, are we getting what we're pulling. So it's basically just for debugging purposes, just to make sure we're accessing what we need to access. I'm getting a lot of errors right now. I don't know if it's me. I just need to finish some things or what's going on. Request method, subreddit. I think we're okay. Whenever you parse JSON, you're always going to put in a try-catch block because you need to catch the errors. So try curly braces. JSON object. We're going to call it data equals response. So since response has everything inside it, we want that data object that's at the very top. Let me, once I get done with this, let me see if I can string data. Semicolon. Why am I getting so many errors? Oh, unhandled exception. We'll get to those exceptions in a little bit. So where's this data coming from? It's coming from right here. This data, because again, response is. Can I do it? Come on, do it. Response is pretty much like everything, and then data will encompass all this. So we're gonna go data, then we got to go into the children array, then we'll start picking out what we need. But before we go to the children, we're getting this after string. Where's that? Where is that? Data.getString. I feel like I need to do this, but I can't find what we use it for. You know what? Let's go to the second page. There's a reason why you gotta get it though. There we go. So the after is way down here. And you can see that this crazy... Is that... Right. Because it comes at the very end of the object. Like the data object isn't closed. So sorry about the delay. But yeah, so we're getting this after the code right here. We'll go to the same... Let's just... you'll see that those letters pop up when we go to the second page. Right here. So that's why we need that after. I knew it was somewhere. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go back into it and let's start parsing. We parse. This is what we do. We parse JSON. That's what we do. JSON array children. Now you know children is not a JSON object. It's JSON array because it was made in brackets and it kind of holds everything. So data dot get JSON array string children. Or, you know what I mean. JSON array, come on, where's that alt? Alt enter. Cool. /r/r/dot.json. So you can see data was the object. Inside that object, we're grabbing the children array. Now within that array, I believe we're going to loop through this data again and pull more. But again, that's kind of the sequence of events that's happening in this JSON parsing. What now? For loop. For int I 0, I will be less than the children length. That's already so true. Children length. I plus plus. Another JSON object. We're going to call it post just because there's like different Reddit postings, I believe. Kind of why I want to call it that. Children dot get JSON object. Put I in there. Because I, as in the position that it's in the loop. What array number it is. Get JSON object. Let's call that data. You need to get inside the data object, and that will hold all the goodies for us. List items. Item equals new list item. We need that because we're going to be using those methods to populate our list. List items. Alright, so item is the variable. Let's set the title. So we post dot get string title. A lot of repeat here. Item dot set thumbnail. Post dot get string thumbnail. Item dot set URL. Post dot get string URL. We'll go over these in just a second. Let's just do a few more. Item dot set subreddit. Post dot get subreddit. What am I doing? Where's the no, get string. Gosh, alright. Get string subreddit. I guess it'd be fine, but item dot get author. No, set author. Set author. Post dot get string author. Let's just finish out this for loop. JSON subreddit equals post dot get string subreddit. That's good. Now everything that we just did, let's add everything to our list items, our list. Alright, so what did we do right here? Again, all these red lines should go away in just a second, but so what are we doing? So in the list items, we have this variable item, and we're making all these function calls and setting them to certain to data that we're pulling from Reddit. So we're getting the string title. What's that? So we're getting whatever is inside the title, if I can find it. Serious, where's the title? Is it way down here? Alright, so see, we're getting whatever's inside this, we're getting that string for the title. We're also getting the same thing for the thumbnail, which is this URL, and that's how we're finding it. We put it right here, we put thumbnail in there because we're getting that string inside the thumbnail object, so we get it, boom, we get that. Again, we're doing the same thing for author and for URL. This URL that's going to bring us to what we're going to look at, and yeah. So we're just defining some variables and setting our objects to what we want them to be set to. And again, we're doing it for each one in the array. So this is, you know, inside this children array, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, etc., and so on. Or I guess 0, 1, 2, 3. Since we're using a 0-based index, the first one's going to be at 0, I believe. Where do I need? Just here we're going to make the catch call. Again, this is standard for most JSON parsing, so. We have to notify the adapter that changes have been made. Or put a comma right here. New response. Error listen. The volley error. Error. Curly braces. Override. Oh, lots of putting so far. Public void. Am I already doing this? On error response. No, what did I do wrong? This doesn't go here. My bad. Delete that parameter on error listener. Leave that blank with no parameters. On error response is gonna take that. Volley error. Curly braces. Volley log d, just tag it, error. Alt enter, just get the import out of the way. Yeah, so what are we doing now? We're semicolon that up. this stop? Yeah, just no. Needs to be another one right after this. Another curly braces. There we go. I believe that's how we do it. That's not what we want. Just get rid of this one. There we go. Now we do Q. Dot add JSON object request. Why is this not coming out? Oh, did I call it something different? What did I call it up here? The request queue. Do I even have a request queue? I do not have a request queue, so let's go ahead and define it. Skip that one on accident. That's a big deal. Request queue. Call that queue. Goals volley dot new request queue. This. Awesome. Now let's make that call down below. Q.add. And that is our update list. We're doing the parse, the JSON parsing through the try catch block. We're catching the error. We're notifying the adapter. Trying to catch any errors and adding that to the queue. And we just parsed Reddit. Hopefully, there'll probably be a lot of problems. But yeah, we'll continue working on this in the next video. So I'll see you then.